I think to start this video off, we will start at these fig trees. They are absolutely loaded with some nice, ripe figs. We're gonna pick a bunch of these for my wife before the birds get them. We've been having a problem with the birds eating our figs. First it was the chickens. I have to keep the chickens put up now. Hey, get out of there. I have to keep the chickens put up now because I let them out the other day. Went and goofed around for maybe 10 minutes, came back, and this whole tree was full of chickens eating my figs. Now I don't eat them. As you can see, the birds love them. I don't eat them, but my wife really enjoys them. So we've been keeping the chickens put up till the figs are done producing. And about every couple of days I've been coming out here picking them for her. Well, that's not too bad. Got a half a bucket. And this tree has a ton of figs on it. This one beside it is loaded as well, but it just seems like it's a little further behind. Now these trees were here when we first bought the property. I couldn't tell you what kind they are. I don't know anything about them. They were here when we bought the property. I don't eat figs. I don't care nothing about them. But if they're producing, we're definitely going to snatch them up. Kim's wanting to make some preserves out of them. There's one more little bush. This sucker, I have never really gotten it to grow. I fertilize the others and really try to take care of them best I can. But this one just will not take off. It has been really, really slow. No figs on it. It's got just a couple of little babies trying to pop out. There's just a few. You can see them in there amongst the leaves. But just a few in there. Never really wanted to do anything. Let's go put these up. We'll feed the pigs real quick. Well, not much for the pigs today. Basically some peaches, a few tomatoes, and a few plums. We'll give these to the meat pigs. I want to show you what the pigs have been doing to the pen real quick. Well, not a lot for the pigs, but I wanted to show you what they've been doing to our little swimming hole. Our little swimming hole, they have gone crazy and actually dug past the fence and underneath. I had to put a cross tie there and some electric wire. I had to loop it down. I just spliced it here and spliced it there, looped it down. And it seems, oh yeah, I put a bunch of these T-posts in. I was just doing everything I could to slow them down. But they went crazy, and this was just a day or two. I caught it and went to work, and I put the cross tie down, the electric wire and all, and that seems to slow them down. It seems to have slowed them down, thank goodness. 'Cause I mean, they had a perfect hole going underneath the pen. I don't know how they didn't just get out. Apparently they like it in here. Well, look at the little babies. They're doing so good. They're doing so good, and they're getting big. That's right. They're looking good. They're growing up. They're growing up. And this is Mohawk. Like I say, she's always the coolest. This one's still just a little skittish. But she's getting there. Yeah, she's sort of getting used to me. She hasn't nipped at me or anything yet. Yeah, Mohawk rules though. She's just the best. She's a sweetheart. All right. Well, this is not a pig video, and it's not a fig video. This is actually a muscadine video. I'm gonna go check these muscadines out, and I want to show you guys how we're going to try and get the most out of our irrigation. Time to upgrade our irrigation. Go ahead and feed these guys. Poor chickens. Poor guys, they hadn't been out all day. They ain't used to that. They're used to being out every day. But since those figs are coming on, I was instructed to leave them put in the pen. All right, let me start just by showing you guys how the muscadines are doing. As you can see, they're everywhere. We have a few starting to turn. They are trying. It won't be long now. It won't be long now. Here's a big pretty purple one right there, but it ain't ready. It's gonna be a while. Look at these. Let's look underneath. Oh yeah, just giant clusters. They are looking so good. So happy all the way down the row. Really looking good. Loaded with grapes. Super excited, loaded with grapes. I can't stop looking, look. There's a purple one right there in the middle. Look at these giant clusters of grapes. Just big old clusters of grapes. All in there. All underneath there. Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Well, what I want to talk to you guys about is upgrading our irrigation for you guys that are growing grapes. I've talked about our irrigation before, way back. But what we're going to do today is just do a little upgrade. Super simple. I want to talk to you about our plants. When you first buy your plants, you're basically buying a little tiny plant. It's in a 1 gallon pot. So the root system's about as big as your hand. It's really small. So all you basically do is put an emitter 12 inches on each side of the plant. They're half-gallon emitters. And they look like this. They're little half-gallon emitters that put off a half-gallon of water per hour. Put one on each side so you know your plant's getting a gallon of water per hour. Super simple. But now that our root system, these plants here are about 6 years old, 5, maybe 6 years old. Now that our root system has spread out further, as you can tell, our root system spread out further, what I want to do is add more emitters about 3 foot further each way down the row. That'll give me 4 emitters per plant, which will be 2 gallons per hour. It'll reach the roots that are right here close to the plant, and it'll also give water to the roots that have extended further down the wire. As you can see, here's our plant. Here's our emitters that we first put in. They're about 12 inches on each side. Then down the row about 3 foot, we just added another, both ways. Both sides. I had one down there too. So when we turn the water on, we're getting 2 gallons of water as opposed to 1. So that's all we're basically doing. All you'll need is a drill with a little teeny drill bit. I know some of you guys are going to say, what size bit? I don't have a clue. It's super tiny. Basically, it's going to be a little smaller than the nipple that you're going to shove into the hose. It's basically just pre-drilling a hole that this will pop right into. Makes it really simple and quick. And for you guys that are curious about these emitters, you can get these at Ison's Nursery. Anytime I talk about muscadines, I talk about Ison's Nursery because they have been a huge helping hand to me. I've got all my plants from Ison's, all my irrigation from Ison's. Check out their online catalog. For you guys that want to get some irrigation for your plants, they have it on there. Everything you need. Check them out. Now, as you can see, we have water there. There's our plant. There's the other one raining on top of Odin's back. And the other one is right here. So that stretches our water all the way down that little 10-foot section there. You may be wondering why we do that. Well, like I said earlier, now the root system has gotten bigger. You want to stretch your water out. But also, as you can see, it is scorching hot, mostly humid. But it's been really hot here in Georgia. We're in August, just got out of July, in August. The plants need lots and lots of water with all this heat. Because one thing we've noticed, if they do not get lots and lots of water, the plant, in order to keep itself alive, to survive, it will drop all your grapes before they're ready. For you guys that live in the South that have seen wild muscadines in the woods, like this time of year, we're seeing them up there around the pig pen. They don't get the adequate amount of water, and the vines are huge. They'll go 40 foot up a tree. So they're just not getting enough water to hold those grapes. The plant itself is just basically trying to keep itself alive in hopes for more water the next year to put on grapes. But if these things don't get enough water, they can drop their grapes before they're ready to harvest. So you want to make sure they get lots and lots of water. There is a recommended dose or a recommended amount of water these jokers are supposed to get. I can't actually remember what it is. I want to say it's 12 gallons a week to 20 gallons a week, something like that. It's a lot of water, but I don't measure my water like that. I don't really keep up with it. I've always done really, really well just watering a few vines every few days, for the simple fact we're on a well. We have 6 rows here. We have 6 rows here that I have 2 rows running now. Then I'll run these 4 tomorrow. And I'll run them all night. I'll run those all night. And then we also have 20 something, like 29 rows in the big vineyard. For you guys that are new and haven't subscribed, click that subscribe button. But we have 29 super long rows out there, and I have them set up 5 rows each. So I'll do 5 rows each night, and then I'll start back over. Unless we have some rain. If we have some rain, I dial it down. I take a day or 2 off from moving hoses around. But it works for us. It's worked out great. And I know a lot of you guys say, why don't you run irrigation from the house? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? It's a lot of time. It's a lot of money. It's worked out great now. Maybe later down the road, we'll upgrade. I'd like to have a well out there in the big vineyard. It's just all money. It's all money. All this stuff costs a lot. It costs a little to get started. It takes a lot of time, a lot of pruning, a lot of fertilizing, a lot of watering, but the end results are absolutely awesome. We have one pest that we're about to start dealing with now. I noticed while I was putting those in, and I know exactly what it is. It's probably a raccoon. I looked under this particular plant. This is one of our green scuppernong plants, or our bronze scuppernong plants. This whole row is. This is one of my wife's favorite rows. But let me show you. Under here, you can see the results of something climbing in our vines and eating grapes that aren't ready. They're up there eating them. Could be a squirrel. Could be a squirrel. But you can see over there, there's a lot of sign that it may be a raccoon. That seems to be the biggest pest with growers, are raccoons and deer. We've never really had that much of a problem with deer, but we have with raccoons, so it's about time to start setting some traps. I'll probably start doing that tomorrow. Start setting some traps and thinning out some of these raccoons, because these muscadines will really draw them in. These muscadines really draw them in. But anyway, that's all we're doing today, guys. Upgrading our irrigation. If you guys haven't done it yet, I would highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. The emitters you get from Isons, they're super cheap. I can't remember, 20, 25 cents a piece, something like that. They're super cheap. If you just have a small row that you would like to start putting irrigation on, check out Isons Nursery online. They have an online catalog. They'll ship, and get you some irrigation. It's really cheap. It saves a lot of work. Plug your water in, let it run all night. Your plants get all the water they need. And it's super easy. It's really, really easy. But Isons are a good group of people. Check those guys out. And do me a favor, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, click that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Leave me a comment. If you have any questions about our muscadines, let me know. Leave them in the comments. I'll do my best. I never claim to be a professional grower. I'm just a hobby grower. I learn all the time. But I love my grapes. I'm just super excited at how fast they're coming on. I cannot wait. And I love to hear that sound of that rain water, that little water trickling. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not. But anyway, I love this stuff. Love you guys to death. We appreciate it. See you on the next video.